Ever since I could ever remember, I always dreamt of finding somebody, falling deeply in love, losing my virginity to this person, and being with them for my entire life. So, I lost my V card later than anybody I actually personally know. No, I'm not revealing the actual age just because it's personal information, man. So today's a full-blown story time about how Austin Wayne lost his virginity. Let's get it. Now, as I stated, this was my first serious relationship that I've ever had in my entire life. Now, I don't want to go too in depth with my childhood, but for specific reasons, I did not date pretty much whenever I lived at home. Just because, with all due respect, I came from two very highly dysfunctional families, and so it kind of just froze me in that personal aspect to where I did not want to date. I wanted to get out of the house. I wanted my own privacy when it came to my dating because everyone was up in my business. So I waited to start dating until I was out of the house. And now at this age, pretty much all the girls that I would have liked, they've already been around the town, man. They've already been around the block. They've got all these miles on them at this point. And so I was not interested in any of these girls. Like, all these girls kept trying to sleep with me after high school, man. I was the youngest one out of my entire friend group who had an apartment first. I had all this stuff set up first before anybody else. So obviously, this makes you a high target for women, man, especially these promiscuous women. So I met this one girl who's also another virgin. And so obviously this in itself was what kind of just piqued my interest. We started dating a little bit. And it was the fact that she was a virgin, I was a virgin, and we would just get along, and it seemed like everything was very logical, very easy. Like, honestly, I did not really like this girl, but at the same time, there wasn't really a specific reason to dump her. So things just kept progressing step by step by step, up until about the 3-month mark, whenever at this point, she wanted a relationship. She wanted to be boyfriend, girlfriend. Now, we still haven't slept together. And at this point, it was my birthday coming up soon. I was about to turn a certain age. And it was my ego, man. I didn't want to be a virgin at this age. And so we both kind of came to the logical conclusion that we should lose our virginities together. And so we actually planned a trip. So we were going to go somewhere completely different, another state, another country, and we're going to lose our virginity there. And now, it was actually the night before the trip whenever we lost our virginity. We still planned the trip. But the night she came over, we were both in my bedroom, and we were just doing everything up until then. And then we just kind of got to a point where we're like, oh, we're going to do it tomorrow anyways. Might as well just do it now. And at this point, it just kind of like very slowly, gradually happened. Now remember, man, just like all the chemicals that were going through my head, all these thoughts, I was like, oh, wow, like I'm actually doing it. Like, this is so crazy, man. And it's very interesting, losing your virginity. It's a very interesting experience that obviously you're only going to experience once, unless you do a very long retention streak. Then it's like you're losing your virginity all over again. But what's crazy, man, I was so anxious, I was so nervous about my performance, I actually couldn't finish. Like, literally, an entire episode of The Walking Dead was playing while she was giving me a head. Nothing. Then on top of that, we went at it for another 2-3 hours. Still nothing. Just boom, boom, boom. I couldn't finish. So it was really funny, man. And I set very high expectations for the relationship. I remember at the end of the relationship, she'd get upset with me if I want to go like hours. I'm like, I don't have this kind of time. Who do you think I am? And then what's very interesting, man, we ended up going on the trip the very next day. And then we obviously started having an insane amounts of sexual intercourse everywhere. Like animals in the woods, because it was actually a camping trip. In the tent, everywhere, man, non-stop, like 5 to 10 times a day. And then what's crazy, we get back from the trip. She was not on birth control, but she was tracking her cycle with the app. Now, if you do not know, a woman can only get pregnant 5 days out of the month. People online will say, oh no, that's a myth. They can get pregnant any day of the month. If she is actually remotely healthy, it's biologically impossible to get pregnant outside of those 5 days, because there's only one day whenever the eggs drop, and then the sperm can live within 5 days inside of her. So 5 days out of the month, she can get pregnant. And she said she was completely in the clear, nowhere near that. We get back, she's 2 weeks late on her period. I just lost my virginity. I thought I was about to lose my virginity and have a kid as well. Now, I wasn't doing anything crazy. Even though I lost my virginity, my pull-out game was still A1. It's always been. So I was caught off guard, man. I thought I was about to be a father after just losing my virginity, man. Obviously, the period comes. Nothing happened. There was no close call. So it was perfect. And then we ended up having a very long, very boring, not so healthy relationship that ended up in flames at the end. But here's the moral of the story, man. First of all, it was a great experience. I never regret anything, man. Especially if you really want the girl that you like, date a girl you don't really like that much, man. So you can learn female nature, so you can get really good in bed, like, so you can do all these things. Like, if you wait for the perfect one, then when it comes to it, you're gonna mess something up, man. It's like you want to drive a Honda before you drive the Lambo, so you don't crash the Lambo. Like, you got to learn how to drive. So that's kind of what she was to me. All due respect, she was the Honda. Very, very good experience. But all things are on their course. You're probably watching this. You want to know if you want to lose your virginity. Should you wait for someone special? I will tell you a couple of things. It's obviously up to you. Personally, for me, I had that romantic thing, and it was also a religious thing. I did not want to lose my virginity out of sheer sin. I wanted to be as pure and righteous as possible. But obviously, things happen. The modern world that we live in, society is quite different. Now, I will tell you, man, a woman, let's say you're in your 20s, you're in your late teens, she will lose respect for you if you're a virgin. She almost treats you like you're a baby, like you won't know what to do. They almost respect men who are very promiscuous, who know exactly what to do in the bedroom. Like, they're professionals. They'll have a lot more respect for you. Personally, if I could go back in time, because I'm not going to tell you what to do with your own body, man. Typically, I'm always giving advice. Today, I'm just going to say what I would do if I went back in time. If I could go back in time, I would have lost my virginity at probably like 14, 15. I probably would have gotten nuts in high school, just been the cool kid at school, had fun, and then get very serious, and then probably get on retention, get on my self-improvement game at that point. That's what I would personally do. Just because it's good to build up that skill set and get that stuff in the past, man, so that you don't do it in the future. Because I still ended up having those degenerate phases. Because if you don't ever get out of your system, you're always going to be curious. I also have a philosophy, you always want to live without any possible regrets. So anything that you could do, I kind of want to live it out just so that you know it's something that you do not enjoy. Now, if anyone watching this needs help with their fitness goals, link in the description box for a free one-on-one consultation with me, Austin Wayne. I transform thousands of bodies into Greek god male model shapes. If you want to be next, link in the description box. Also, guys, kalosique.com for the best supplements in the fitness industry. We got high growth supplements, creatine, pre-workout, whey protein, everything, man. kalosique.com. Also, subscribe to the channel and like this video if you're new to the channel. That's it. I love you guys.